So this kind of attack, being snuck up on from behind, grabbed, picked up, dragged away somewhere, is one of the biggest fears that we all have for our wives, girlfriends, kids. So in this video, we're going to show you a few ways that we can prevent that situation from happening, few ways you can defend yourself and stop somebody grabbing you from behind, and then you can pass that information on then to your kids and your loved ones.
Ryan and I, we are going to be covering the most common grabs that we think statistically are the most common ones out there, and the basic defense, the most practical plus basic defense to defend from those also common attacks.
The first situation is if I grab Raul here, okay, so there's quite a high grab, all right, so kind of just underneath his shoulders, and there's a real risk here of this turning into a choke, all right, so this going around his neck. So we need to do two things at the same time. Now these two things are the fundamental principles no matter how I grab him, right? So if I've grabbed him here, he's going to do two things at once. He's going to grab my hands and he's going to drop his weight. There we go. So he's going to grab my hands to stop them being able to go up around his neck, and also he's going to drop his weight to stop me being able to lift him. If you don't drop your weight, stand up. So if he doesn't drop his weight, look. Wait, there he goes. Doesn't weigh a lot. If he drops his weight, I can't lift him. Bonus tip, if you can tuck your leg behind the attackers, it just makes it extra difficult for them to pick you up. In fact, unless I move, it's impossible now, because of some sort of weird physics, for me to lift him. Now, yeah, I could just move my foot, but this buys Raul a little bit of time to do the next set of techniques. So I grabbed him, he's dropped his weight, and he's controlling my hands. Now he's going to tuck his chin down to the side, and he's going to lift his elbow up to leverage my arm, okay? And he's going to roll out. Simple as that. He's going to roll out, walking ahead, right? Stepping backwards away from me, because if he comes, sorry, Raul, if he tries to do it and step behind me, he's probably going to fall over, right? Just like that. So I've grabbed him, drops his weight, controls my hands, leverages my shoulder, and away he goes. If I'm a really, really strong guy and he can't, for whatever reason, get that leverage to roll my shoulder, that's fine. He's just going to scoot his hips out the way. What does that expose? That exposes my precious boys, and he's going to give him a good whack. I'm now going to flinch, right? And that gives him the opportunity to do the first technique. So next one, luckily for Raul, this time I've grabbed him, but I haven't grabbed his arms, okay? The principles are still the same. Trap my hands, drop his weight. But from here, he's got his arms, right? So he can do so much more now. So he's going to elbow me in the face, essentially. He's going to twist, and he's going to elbow me, and it only takes one. Thanks, mate. It only takes one of those elbows to land, just one of them. Do you think that they're going to stand there and just take elbows to the face? Of course they're not. You catch them once in the face and they're going to let go. If you're particularly small and you've tried practicing that and it just doesn't work for you, because it doesn't work for everyone, what you can do instead is attack the hands, okay? So punch down on the hands. If you've got rings on, right? Use your rings. If you've got a phone in your pocket, right? Strike down on the hands. If you've got teeth, bite them. Right? Get the hands off you and escape that way instead. So this next one we're going to do is probably the most difficult one of all. It's going to be really tricky for Raul. So I'm going to grab him around about elbow height, okay? So this means that he doesn't have enough leverage, right, to roll out like we did in the first technique. He doesn't have enough control really with his arms to hit me in the balls or to get my hands off of him. So he needs to be creative. So he's dropped his weight. He's controlling my hands. What he's going to do now is he's going to lean forward. And as he's leaning forward, raise his hands to the sky. So look at the space that he's got by raising his hands to the sky, just like that. Now he can scoot his hips out the way, slap me in the balls, and off he goes.
This way now for the camera. Slow motion, there, lift, and then with all your strength, clack! There, as many times as possible until he releases. With the girls, with the small girls, like for instance my wife or my sister, the bouncers or anyone grabbing a girl, they try to go through the wrist to avoid them using the nails. The women usually have the longer nails, and then they go very, very close, and then they lift them. Okay? So first of all, ladies, down, try to put this position. Unless he's very strong, he's not going to be able to lift you very easily. And then it's very easy, it's just moving like a baby until you can release. Once you can release, you can use your nails, you can just start hitting with the elbow as we see before, pam, 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 pam. I just touch him and he's already knocked out.
So throughout this video, we've looked at ways to avoid someone picking you up from behind. We've done another video about how to avoid somebody picking you up just from the front, just here from the front. It could be a drunk guy at a bar, one of your friends maybe had too much to drink, or it could be something more sinister than that. So we've done a video about how to defend yourself in that situation, and make sure you check it out.